Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Creations. I'm Amber, and today I've decided that we're going to go ahead and do some stamping and inking in our journal. And I struggled, you guys, I really struggled to make this video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my stamps out, and I'm showing you the 3 that I had, and these other little bits down here, these 6 ones I bought from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off, and they were right by the door as I was walking out of there. I was doing so good until I saw that, and I just couldn't resist, because I knew that I only had the 3 stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and flip through our journal, and I'm coming up to this snowman page, and how cute would that be to have a snowman image on there of words like Frosty and snow and seasons, and it's just a really cute stamp, and I think it'll go on this page quite nicely. So I go ahead and pull that out of the book because I don't want to mess up. Once you stamp an image down, it's pretty much its home. About the only thing you can do is just to cover it back up. So to get a really good stamp image, you want to make sure that you ink it up really well. You want to make sure your ink's not dried out or clumpy or anything like that, and make sure that you cover the entire image. And then what I do is I put a piece of fun foam underneath it there because it gives it a soft spongy to the back of the paper, so that way it doesn't just go on a hard surface, and then it tends to rock on me when I push. I mean, I probably push way too hard on stamps, but that's just me. So I use a fun foam in the back of my paper, that way it stops it from rocking and it just gives it a nicer image is what I found. And I go ahead and press down, try to hold it nice and still, and leave it on the paper so that the ink will go into your paper. If you pull up too quickly, you're going to have a blurry image, or your ink is not going to have set all the way on there. So there we go. Cute little snowman. I'm super happy with him. I love it. I have enough ink on our stamp, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp onto the tag that came with that gift set. So I do that a lot. I will stamp my images, and you'll see me do it a lot in this video. I try to stamp my image, and then I do a stamp off. So that way I'm not wasting the ink, and I'm getting double usage out of it. And I really like the look of the stamp offs. It's not as bold in your face ink. It almost looks like it's maybe half transparency, maybe 25% transparency. I just think it gives the paper a nice look. So I try to do that as much as I can. So I'm just going to pull out my stamp cleaner here and clean that off. I usually have baby wipes to clean my stamps, but on this particular day, I didn't have any down in my craft room, and I didn't want to pause the video, get up, and go all the way upstairs to grab a baby wipe to clean my stamps. So you'll see me kind of struggle with cleaning the stamps in this video, but I apologize for that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side so it can dry properly and not smear onto the pages, because that would be devastating to come back and see a snowman stamp smeared. We have to start all over again. So I'm just looking for another spot in our book here, and I pulled out a couple of rub-ons that I've had in my stash. So I got these at my local thrift shop. I always check the craft section when I go there, of course. Like, who doesn't check the craft section? But I got these rub-ons years and years ago. It came in like a pack of 6. And then I have these fun Christmas ones off to the side here that are kind of brown. They're like gold, but they're not glittery. They're just brown. And so I'm just kind of looking through. I know I have these blue ones, and I would love to use those snowflakes, but I feel like the snowflakes are too bright. So I also pulled out a Christmas stencil, and I'm just showing you that you could do a stencil on the background, but I feel like this Christmas tree is just too big and it's just too much. So I'm just trying to find something small. I really like that hollies and berries, so that's what I decided I'm going to use, is going to be the hollies and berries, and I'm just looking for the perfect spot to go ahead and stencil that in. So I'm flipping through. Here's our sweet little reindeer page and our flip out. Hey, what a perfect opportunity to do some stamping right here on this envelope. I'm like, you know what? This is an envelope, and a lot of kids write letters to Santa, so I'm going to use this North Pole stamp here and go ahead and put it up there in the corner like somebody had mailed this card to Santa maybe. So I'll get that out of the way, grab my little foam pad there, pull out my inks, decide which color I want to use. I have a really dark ground espresso, and I don't think that I want to use ground espresso because I think it's too bold for that page. So I go back to my vintage photo, ink it up really well, and then I'm going to put it in that top right corner on the envelope just to give it a nice ink job. Make sure it doesn't have any faded spots on it. I mean, sometimes you can just like halfway ink stuff and it'll give it that distressed look, but I really like clean, crisp, clear stamped images for this particular project anyways. I have done it before where I just sort of do it where it's, you know, distressed, I guess, where the whole stamp isn't completely covered. Go ahead and do a stamp off onto my little scrap paper here. And you can see the color difference from just stamping off once. Of how dark it was to how light it is now. Like I said, it takes that transparency down, you know, to maybe 50 to 25%. And I just love the way that this is turning out. So I'm super excited. Go ahead and put our North Pole stamp away, clean it off first, or attempt to clean it. And then I pull out the stencils because I'm thinking I want to add a stencil to the envelope because now it feels kind of like plain. It has a really big open space and I'm not sure what I want to do. So I went and I grabbed the red and the green to go ahead and ink up that holly. I'm showing you the stamp set here that I got from Amazon. And I've never used them before, so I don't know what the coloring is going to be. I don't know if the ink pads are already dry. I don't know anything about these. So your guess is as good as mine, and I'm going to find out right here on film. So I'm just looking at the best way to cover up this holly so that I don't get green into the red area and red into the green area. And in the end here, I decided to go ahead and use some washi and cover up the berries because that was going to be the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to grab my washi tape. It's really cruddy washi tape. It doesn't stick very well, and it's starting to peel up the second layer underneath the first layer. I'm just not happy. I won't ever buy that particular washi tape again, and I'm not happy with it. But it does work for purposes such as this. And just get that down there, get it lined up, pull out the green ink, and I'm going to try to smear that into the holly leaves, and I'm struggling and I'm not really happy with the coloring. I thought that green ink would be a little bit darker. It's a little bright for my liking, so I'm just doing my best of trying to get that in there, and it's getting all over my stencil. It's making a mess. I am not thrilled with this. I'm like, you know what, this is not working out very good, but I'm trying. So I accidentally moved my stencil there, so I'm like, all right, just line it back up, pull that off. Now I'm ready for the berries. Go ahead, grab our red ink. Try to ink these teeny tiny holes up with my ink pad. This probably would have worked a lot better if I had like a cotton swab or an ink dauber or basically anything other than a square corner. And then I pull it away and I go, you know what? I am just not happy with this image. So I'm going to cover it up. I could have, completely left it. I'm sure it's not that terrible, but to me it looks kind of childish, and I didn't like that because on the other page over here to the right, there's a really nice holly with some antlers, and it looks more sophisticated. So if that had been on like the snowman page, I may have left it. But being how it doesn't really coordinate with the other page, I want to go ahead and make something that coordinates with that so that it feels like one journal spread, if that makes any sense to you guys. I tend, because I'm a scrapbooker, my background is scrapbooking, I tend to look at the whole journal as that way. So when I have two pages that are side by side like this, I try to make them be a cohesive piece. I try to tie the colors in. I try to make it flow together, unless you can drastically see that one page is made for one thing and the other side is for something else. I have done that where it's been contrasting, so that way I don't feel like I have to journal on both pages at the same time. But I do really like that I'm able to find something that goes and makes the two pages come together. So I'm bringing in this bright blue colored paper, and I'm just seeing on these bigger ones because I want to make a tuck spot, and I'm thinking, well, we could do a pocket, but I didn't really like the pocket. I really think the tuck spot is the way to go. So I'm just looking through my box of cutoffs that I have left over, and I don't really like the black. I think it's too bold, especially for this particular cream. It's a really nice cream envelope, so I don't want to put any black in the background, but I thought I would just pull them out just so I had them for later on. You never know. We might find something else that we want to put it on, or in another project. At least they'll be on the top because I'm going to be working on Christmas stuff for quite a while, so I don't have to go digging through that little box that I've made there. So I pulled out Santa's Little Helper, and how cute is that going to be? I think that goes perfectly with our North Pole stamp, and it's an envelope writing a letter to Santa. It's going to be super adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and back that up because those little cutoffs are really, really thin, and I don't like flimsy stuff, and I also don't care for the square corners. I really like the rounded corners, so I'm going to take a little extra time, go ahead, round our corners up, and then glue that down onto this snowflake paper. It's really, really thick, good quality paper, and I have a lot of it in my stash. I think I still have like, gosh, maybe 10 pieces left of it. I'm not sure, but it's really good quality scrapbooking paper, so since I had it sitting there in a scrap, and it's going to be tucked away forever if I don't use it, so I'm trying to use everything up and not be wasteful. So just glue that down. Make sure you spread it to the edge. That's the most important part, is spreading it to the edge. It's okay if it goes outside. You can just rub that off with your finger or, a baby wipe if I had one. Round the edges there, cut it out. And then you'll see me glue it down to cover up that holly that I'm not happy with. So if you make a mistake, or it's not really a mistake, it's just I did it and I didn't like it. So if you make something that you don't like, it's okay. Don't worry. There's ways around it. And this is a perfect example of showing you a way around something that I don't like. But let me know in your comments if you liked the mistletoe, if you wish I would have kept it, or, you know, if you think I made the right choice by covering it up. Because I tend to doubt myself after a while. I'm like, did I make that right choice? Is that the right way to go? But, you know, for me, I think covering that one up because I wasn't happy with it. And in the end, it's what I feel. So, but just let me know your thoughts. I just want to get some other opinions because I think I way over analyze myself. I'm way harder on myself than others might be as far as what looks good. And we all have different tastes and different opinions on, you know, what we want to do or what we want something to look like. And in the end, I just felt like this was a better option. So there we go. We've got a nice little tuck spot there. And I'm not worried about that corner pulling up because the journal is going to be quite heavy once it is pulled down. So I'm not worried about that. Go ahead and flip to the next spot in our journal. And I'm looking and thinking, maybe I want to do some stamping on the doily, but I've never done stamping on a doily. So I'm not sure if the ink will set on it or if it's going to just smear off. I have inked on tags that were kind of glossy. And I let the ink sit on there, I think, for like a good hour. And I went back and the ink smeared. So I didn't want to find that out on a doily in our journal. So I decided to just leave the doily blank. And here I'm thinking, well, we could do some stamping in the background. But on the other side of that is stamping. And that one has a pocket. So in the end, I just go, you know what? We're done stamping in our journal for now. Pull out our tags and our journaling cards and get those separated into our pile so that we can do some stamping on them. And sorry, guys, I'm starting to get a cold here, but doing my best. I hope that you like this video. I didn't want to upload a 40-minute video of me doing this. So that's why we're doing the voiceover. And this is actually 2 different videos. I had to put them together. I got a phone call in the middle of it. So that was interesting. And it was a lot more work making this video versus any other video that I've ever made so far. So I'm really hoping that that won't ever happen again because that was not fun to do. It was a long process. But here we go. We could decide to do the wishing you a very Merry Christmas down here in the corner. Press and hold. Get a very nice stamped image. And then we're going to do a stamp off, of course. And I think in the end, you'll see me grab that same paper that I've been stamping on this entire time. Like I was just struggling this day. Yep. Because in the end, I can come back and I can just fussy cut those images out, or I can just turn that particular scrap right there into a tag. It's already the perfect size for a tag, but it does have 2 sentiment stamps on it. So I may end up just coming back and fussy cutting those out. So here I go. I got my red one and I'm trying to decide which one. I want to use the corner rounded one. So there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp on there Merry Christmas in the old school font because I really like the way that it looks. And I'm going to use the dark brown, a vintage photo, the vintage photo, ink it up really well. This is a 1993 stamp, you guys. I bought it used. And it's still in very, very good condition. So if you take care of your stuff, it'll last a long time. And I know that these block stamps are a pain in the butt to store. And I only have a few. So, you know, if my stamp collection continues to grow, I may be struggling to find places for my stamps. But I don't know. For right now, what I'm doing is working. Go ahead and stamp off and give that one a nice background and, you know, not waste the ink. And let's see here. I'm going to pull out my rub-on for the green card and I'm trying to decide which one I want to use. I don't think any of these images go with this particular journal, so I just set that one off to the side. Go ahead and grab our gold brown one. Pull it out of the packaging. Now with rub-ons, you have to be kind of careful when you place them down. Some of them are more particular than others. So some rub-on packages, especially I don't know how old this is, but I bought it at the secondhand store. When you press down, immediately some of your image sticks, and other times you've got to really rub it on there to get it off of this, you know, vellum or transparency paper that they have it on. So there we go. We've got joy on that one. And then on this red one here, I'm going to go ahead and put on family. That way, I can add a little photo, or I can do a little journaling on the top, or a sticker, or just something fun like that. I want to give myself plenty of opportunity to keep adding to my stuff. I don't like to just slap something on there and call it done. You know, I could have just easily stamped that right in the middle and called it done. But I really like being able to come back later and add those special little details that make the journal your own. So here we go. We got all 4 journaling cards done. I'm going to move on to some tags. And this video does cut off abruptly at the end. I just want to forewarn you of that. I only get to do 2 tags on here on this video because I ran out of space. I wasn't aware that that was going to happen. So here I am pulling out the ornament tag and trying to find a cutoff to put on there. And then I was like, well, let's start with the holiday mugs because I want to do some stamping. I pull out the Happy Holidays. I think that's the perfect stamp for this. It is a fun font and it'll look really cute with the holiday mugs. I don't know who doesn't enjoy a nice cup of cocoa or coffee or tea or whatever your holiday drink is. Apple cider, pumpkin spice. Like there's so many to choose from. How could you not like it? So there we go. Do some stamp off again. And on this other tag, on the ornament one is the one I'm going to do next. I don't get to the striped one, but on the ornament one, I'm looking through the little stash that I just pulled out before of the small 2x2 cutoffs. And I'm just going to go ahead and hold it up to the paper to see what I like best. And I decided, nope, not that one. I really want one that has a sentiment and not just an image. So I'll go through the little things here and decide which one I want. And I really like that the season greetings does have that similar color of the red and green in it, but I don't like that it's a white background. As you can see, it blends in really well with that tag. So I'm not happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a scrap bag from my stash of red so I can back that up to give it a little pop of color and also make it a little more dimensional. And you're going to see me pull out a red scrap paper and attempt to cut it down. And I say attempt because I struggled and I ended up getting frustrated and I cut the scrap down too small in the end. So sometimes when I'm filming, like especially with this, because it's like a live, to me it's like live filming because I can't just stop filming and go back and redo it. I have to do it on camera and show you guys that I messed up. And so I'm aware of that and I think it makes me more nervous when I'm recording. Even though I shouldn't be nervous, you know, we all make mistakes, but I think I'm just more aware of what I'm doing. And I was just struggling this day. It was just rough. That phone call in the beginning of the video really did not help. And, yeah, so I will go ahead and try to cut this down. I'm trying to get it at 2.5. And then I realized that that's not going to work. So I have to grab another piece. And this time I'm going to pull out a bigger piece of red. So that way I know I have enough room to work with. And a relatively one with a straight edge. I don't know why I keep those scrappy bits that have those wonky edges. Because sometimes I do like to do punches. I do have a few punches like circles. And I think I have a heart, a butterfly. I think that's about it. I don't really have too many punches. But yeah, I don't know why I do that to myself. Trying to make things way harder than they need to be. So I'm trimming that down. And I actually trimmed it too big. So I got to go back and cut it down again. So I'm going to take off another 1/4 inch. I'm going to make it 2 1/4, just to give it a nice little red background. And this will also help it to be more sturdy. And it does give you the opportunity to go ahead and coordinate your colors. And like I said, just makes it pop off that tag. I just absolutely love the way that it looks once it's completely done. So I'm going to grab my ATG, stick that down on there, and place it on the tag. So thank you so much everyone for watching and participating along with me. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm just going to go ahead and ATG that down, and that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you'll check back next week or in a few days when I upload the next section. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Bye guys.